Thank you for tuning in to ALEPH TAU News tonight. Broadcasting live on ALEPH TAU News, Yahshua's News tonight. More simple thoughts. Pray about it. Have you heard of ALEPH TAU News? Spread his message. Tell a friend to come check it out, then tweet about us. Sunday through Friday, well, now we're going Monday through Thursday because Friday is the beginning of Shabbat. So at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific time zones, USA, ALEPH TAU News will be broadcasting Monday through Thursday. So, ALEPH TAU, that's ALEPHTAU.net/NEWS. It's Tell a Friend Night. Tell a friend to come check it out. ALEPH TAU News, news worthy of receiving. Glad to have you with us. Enjoy a bit of knowledge about these books of love, said as Achab in the sacred language, commonly called the Holy Bible, appropriately called Ha-Besorah, or the Message. Ha in the language meaning the, Besar message, Besorah message of Ruach, message through the window, message coming to you through the leader. That's the message to you. And that's why this news broadcast is about you and not about everybody else or the events that are going on around the world at this time, but news that is going to be going on in your future to help you make wise decisions today so that you will know how to live a better life unto your Creator. Because yes, we are created beings. ALEPH TAU News, news worthy of receiving. Tell a friend to come check it out. So thanks for joining in, and shalom. So tonight, a few thoughts about the scriptures as known by an atheist. I was an atheist before my salvation. Of course, you could be agnostic or you could be other religions. I just happened to be someone that did not accept that there was any theocracy or idea of creator. No deity of any kind created us. That's just crazy. I would say we have evolved over billions of years because we needed to be. It's something that came about through just a process of elimination in time, and it just happens to be that it can happen that way. And you know, I was trying to rationalize through it, and I always give every reason you could imagine just to cut people down that were faith or believers to the point they would be so frustrated they would just walk away. Because truly as believers, you're not supposed to argue. Scripture says, argue not. And I would try to pose arguments as much as possible, and any person naturally is going to jump on a chance to argue. It seems like that's just this human nature is for us to, oh no, that's not true. You know, no, I know the right way, and that's the way it is because I know. And we'll argue till we're blue in the face. So it's just natural. And for people to hear their creator being defiled by someone else, and that someone else's mouth is speaking in a negative tone about their King of Kings, that's going to get them really riled up. And I would do all I can to rile someone up. So hopefully that tonight you get riled up, especially if you're a believer. And if you're a non-believer, you get riled up to try to seek after some of the things I'm talking about. Because when I tell you these things in Scripture, they're things that first set me back with my jaw dropping in awe, blew me away, and then I just have to agree because there's no way of getting around this information mathematically, numerically, logically. I can illogically rationalize it away, and you know, I could be scathing about it and start a problem and do what I could to try to irritate an irresponsible attitude. But that's not what's truly needing to be done when running into something that is so phenomenal and so amazing and so incredible that there's no math that can unexplain it. It's just these incredible numbers and odds that are like 650 times 10 to the 40th power of impossibility, and just compared that to the one chance it's not, And you're going, oh, of course, that's what it is. And there's no way it. So this is like the creation of blood. I mean, it took such an incredible amount of engineering to create each and every single cell that is like a city unto itself, with its own disposal, waste systems, management operations, reproduction. Everything in it is just this flow of a Library of Congress in every single cell. It's just so incredibly deep. And so with those people out there that are saying, no, no manufacturer made this, well, you're just blind, I think. If you don't want to look at some of the designs of biology, and you're one of the staunch evolutionists, it took billions of years for these things to come about, you could be right in one way, in the fact that the stars seem to be like 12 to 15 billion years from now, and so we've had to be here at least that long. But what you're not factoring in is contraction and expansion. The contracting universe, if you're going back from those billions of years down to this young point in time when the planet was first created. So that's what I mean by a young Earth, that there was contraction when the beginning of things were going on, and now it's expansion and expanding continually away from this point in time. So as you look out, you'll see billions of years, but if you look back in, you'd only see a few thousand. That's what I mean. We have a young Earth, and there's people that are willing to back it up, and there's mathematics that do, and there are mathematicians that say they can prove it. So Dr. Gerald Schroeder is one of them, and if you check him out online, I'm sure you'll find out he's got quite an amazing list of credentials. And I think he's like a 4-time doctorate in physics, so he's quite an incredible gentleman, and he'll help you arrange some of your thought process and pattern that have been mispronounced or misscaped, if you want to say that, and rescape them to some of the facts that need to be said. Before 1969, we had a steady state model of the universe, and then after that we had the expanding universe, which is accurate, and now there are even more about the winding of the universe and the winding of the solar system, and not everything is a flat disk, and we always think of it in that way, but not only is it rotating but spiraling up like a DNA branch. So yes, it's that kind of intricate when it comes to the concepts of how the universe works, and if you want to look into it, I suggest you study with Dr. Gerald Schroeder. Tonight I'm going to go over some interesting thoughts about Scripture, and meaning about a remarkable concept and a remarkable placement that is glimpsed out of the book of Bereshit, which is commonly called in English Genesis. Chapter 5, where we have the genealogy of Adam through Noah. It's one of those chapters that many skim over, and they don't get into a little genealogy. They'll look at it and just walk on by because, oh, it's more names, 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 names. And I think that if you're one of those that really want to get into the truth and want to study and seek deeper, you'll find that these Hebrew names, the idea of what these beings were in the first place, when you study their meaning, they don't compare to the English. English actually doesn't compare to it, because the text, when it was written, the original writings, and I'm calling them the sacred language writings, and in the theologian circles out there, they'll call it Paleo. Well, yeah, that's kind of accurate, because think of it. Paleo is the first of anything, a Paleolithic, first era. So paleontology is the study of these first original eras, and so this is the first language. That's what they're basically saying by saying that, Paleo. So yeah, again, it's why not come out and say it? This is the original language on Earth, and study those original roots. And you do that, it can yield some really fascinating insights. So I thank those that study, and I think that the people that are using lexicons and getting deeper with their nouns and original roots, and look at those original readings. and be free of controversy. Get away from those other translations and look at the original information. So if you look at the genealogy and the names themselves, first name, Methuselah, comes from Mut, a root that means death, and also from Shalach, which means to bring, okay, or to send forth. So Methuselah means his death shall bring. Really, death brings, bringer of death, death bringer. Methuselah's father was given a prophecy of the coming great flood and was told that as long as his son was alive, the judgment of the flood would be withheld. But as soon as he died, the flood would be brought or sent forth. Can you imagine raising a kid like that? Says Dr. Chuck Missler in one of his articles. And indeed, the year that Methuselah died, the flood came, which is very interesting. In Methuselah's life was a symbol of Elohim and his mercy in slowing down the coming judgment. So it's fitting that his life is oldest in the scripture. You got to think of why these things happen. They don't just happen randomly. The dates are for a reason. So significant is that name and its identity in a genealogy. Okay, if you look at the other names that are there, Adam, his name means man. As this first man, pretty simple. Okay, Seth, Adam's son, means to appoint, the appointed one. Eve had said, "For Elohim hath appointed me another seed of Abel and Cain, whom Cain slew," Seth. So there she said it. She gave the definition, appointed. Enosh, Seth's son, which means mortal, frail, miserable. It's from the root of anash, to be incurable, used of a wound, grief, woe, sickness, or wickedness. So it's mortal, frail. And Enosh, at that time, men began to defile the name of the Creator. So you got to think about that. You're weak, you're mortal, you're frail, and you just don't get any of this stuff. You don't care to look at it, you don't care to listen, and you don't really want to be a part of this because you're in pain, you're suffering, you're hungry, you're wounded, you're grieving, you're aching for some help and healing, and you're not calling upon the name of the Creator to do that. And I will give it out freely any time of these broadcasts, any moment you want to hear it said. I say it, Yahuwah, from the people, the Yahudim, the ones that you're probably calling Jews. They're Yahudi. That's the proper word for Jew. One single one. Yahudim is like Jews in English. It's a plural. Im is plural, just like Ilah or Eloi, singular, which is the Father, Son, and Ruach. Ruach is the word for spirit, so Father, Son, Spirit. It's not the same meaning. The meaning of Ruach means something, but Spirit is a word outside of the covenant. So I say Ruach on purpose. Im, which is plural, so you could say Elohim. That's the whole word for the word G-O-D in your language. You go, God, G-O-D. And he is identified as Elohim in the writings, which tell us of Father, Son, and Ruach in one word. Sitting there in Bereshit, or Genesis, as you commonly call in English, the third word of Scripture. Canaan, Enosh's son was named Canaan, which can mean sorrow, dirge, or elegy. Somewhat elusive, some study aids presume that Canaan is synonymous with Canaan. Balaam, looking down from the heights of Moab, used a pun upon the name of the Kenites when he prophesied their destruction. So, no real idea as to why these names were chosen for their children. So it's just something that happened at birth, huh? Well, I think they were provided for by the Almighty, and there's a definition in this. Mahalalel. Canaan's son was Mahalalel, from Mahalal, which means blessed or praised, and El, Elohim, remember I've said that? Thus, Mahalalel means blessed Elohim. Often the language includes El, the name of the creator, as Daniel. El is my judge. Dan means judge. So think of these words and how they were made. Yared or Jared, Mahalalel's son. The verb yarad, which means shall come down. Enoch, Enoch Yared's son. Another Enoch, which means teaching or commencement. He was the first of 4 generations of preachers. In fact, the earliest recorded prophecy by Enoch, which amazingly enough deals with the second coming of Hamashiach, our Messiah, although it's quoted in the book of Jude in the New Testament. Enoch, the 7th from Adam, prophesied, saying, Behold, Yahuwah come with 10,000s of saints. Or behold, Yahshua. Okay. And in Jude, which is 14 and 15, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are against Elohim, among them of all their bad deeds, which they have horribly committed, and all of their hard speeches which these unsaved sinners have spoken against. Jude 14:15. Methuselah. Enoch was the father of Methuselah, who had already mentioned. Enoch walked with Elohim after he had begot Methuselah. Apparently Enoch received the prophecy of the flood and was told that as long as his son was alive, the judgment of the flood would be withheld. That year Methuselah died. The flood came. Amazing, wasn't it? The next name, Lamech. Methuselah's son was named Lamech, a root still evident today in our own word lament or lamentation. Lamech suggests despair. And Noah. Lamech, of course, was the father of Noah, which is derived from Nacham, to bring relief or comfort. Noah, as Lamech himself explains. So, you put all this together. Here we have Adam, Seth, Enoch, Kenan, Mahalalel, Yared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, and Noah. And let's say them in English as a definition, each one after the other. Man, appointed mortal, sorrow, the blessed Elohim shall come down, teaching his death shall bring the despairing rest or comfort. Isn't that rather remarkable? Who would put that in a genealogy but the Maker himself? Every name that was given to these men was going to formulate a thought about salvation. Man appointed mortal sorrow. The blessed Elohim shall come down, teaching his death shall bring the despairing rest or comfort. Noach, bringing the fish to the fence. Noach, N sound, Nun means fish, and Chet means fence. Noach. Man is appointed mortal sorrow, but the blessed Elohim shall come down, teaching that his death shall bring the despairing rest. Look at that. The Besorah, that you call gospel, which is the message of love, hidden within the genealogy in Bereshit, or shall I say Genesis. How did that perceive in your ears? Are you ready to receive it? Are you checking out the evidence of design now? Has something happened that came about thousands and thousands of years ago? Before this cross was resurrected in Jerusalem, before it ever happened, outside the gates, north of the city. The scripture is a message system designed, produced of the supernatural, if you want to say that, creator. Every number, every place name, every detail, every yod and every tittle is there for our learning, our discovery, and our amazement. Truly, Elohim is an awesome Elohim. He made all these words and he put them together and engineered and designed them and gave us this information of the message, the word, and not gospel. I don't believe that there is any ghost that's casting spells upon you, so I don't call it that. No, I don't, because it's, again, an outside covenant word. It's not going to be used back in Hebrew. We're never going to have that word eternally. It's not going to exist. So We're going back to the original writings of the language of the scripture as they were, and we're going to speak that word that he gave us to speak, not our own languages. They're all going away. So he'll renew us that way. I mean, if you want to study, great. I mean, that to me is like, oh, my goodness, I love you. I want to be dedicated, do everything I can to help you and show you I love you. But you can just keep on walking like you are, lukewarm, or some sort of middle of the road person, and you go to church on the Sunday and you just, you pay your tithe and you do what you think is just to do, and that's fine if you like that. I mean, I don't think there's a problem with living a life like that. I think the Creator would say thank you, that's kind of you, and love you just the same. It's just that it would be great to see you on fire for this, so hot. You just have to have it because it's the reality of who we are. And you're going to miss out because you're maybe satiated. That's the word I used yesterday. Satiated in your customs. Don't get that way. Don't just be kicked back in your lazy rocker about this. Get on your feet. Go look for this information. Try search something. Now, I don't mean just try and search something, but I mean search it once. Search it twice from another direction and a third time to find out if it's true or not. I want you to be into this information. I hope you're excited to find out something like I showed you tonight. The integrity of this message system, and how the idea and definition of each name fits into salvation, the bringing of the great, great message of love in a genealogy in Bereshit, Genesis. Wow. A story that was written in the Maker's blood on a wooden cross, which was almost 2,000 years ago. What a beautiful note. So I hope that you're as astonished as I am about this code that sits in the text tonight and are recognizing its significance. So the integrity of the 66 books penned by over 40 authors, 40 authors over thousands of years, is tied in together, and it's just amazing. When you find it out, you just say, oh, I know there's a creator, because this word didn't come about by man. Everybody keeps claiming it's just written by man. No, it wasn't. They might have put the pen to paper, but they did not get the information out of themselves or from themselves, because it passed maybe through them, but from the Maker, letter by letter by letter by letter, designed, name by name by name by name, engineered and put together for your learning pleasure. So, and not only that, it's provision of true life, and that's what life is all about. Coming to the cross so you can learn in your heart the real meaning of spirit, learn who spirit really is, and don't be spiritually challenged. Because you can go out and have those little spirituality lessons you're getting from the woman down the road, and you're just so impressed with her sweetness and kindness and her generosity and her great teaching. But if you didn't hear the blood, the lamb, the cross, and the nails that held him there today, you didn't get the meaning of ruach, which is a true sacred word for spirit. R sound in that word means head. Who's the head? The leader. Who's the leader? The Son. The Father. The Almighty. He's a leader. U, the U sound in ruach, that U sound means nail. The leader nail. The k sound in that word ruach means fence. So who are we talking about? What fence? There's only one fence to get to the kingdom of Elohim, and that's through the blood shed upon the cross, that wood. So I hope you get the meaning of ruach, because it's not about chakras and enlightening spiritual dancing and wonderful feelings and having that rainbow glow. That's not about spirituality at all. It's about that cross, that blood, that one called Yahshua that took it upon himself to redeem you. So all of us have a chance to get in the kingdom. We're his inheritance. That's what's coming. He's going to be the bridegroom. The body is the bride. He wants to have us with him. He's courting us for that time. That's why this word is written. Such an awesome creator. Truly, truly awesome. It's astonishing to discover how many amazing things lie in the details of his text. Some are immediately obvious, some take more study, some are more technical, some require special helps. So I hope you get into this and know that he is ready to pour it out upon you. Be ready to receive it so that your heart is open to the reality of who he is. Yahuwah, Yahshua, and Ruach HaKadosh. That is who he is. Those are his name. If you want to say Elohim, the one identity above all identities. And that would be of Yahuwah. YHUH, Yod He Waw He, the name of the Father. ALEPH TAU News, newsworthy of receiving. Tell a friend to come check it out. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Yahshua's House, the Faith Arts Network, and ALEPH TAU Ministries. Thank you for tuning in, and Lila Tov. Shalom.